Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gold Predict. Today, we are going to compare the price bubble and speculative mania in Amazon during the late 1990s to the current setup in Tesla. I think you'll find the similarity striking, and if the price analog continues, Tesla shares could drop 90% from here and return to the launch point near $25. Before we get into the charts, please consider subscribing and liking the video if you enjoy this kind of content. To set the scene, we need to zoom back to the late 1990s. Technology stocks were all the rage, and pretty much any company that ended with a .com was exploding higher. Novice investors were making a killing day trading, and many quit their jobs. Kind of sounds familiar. Everyone understood the vision of Amazon and that it was the future. Investors piled in. From June of 1998 to January of 1999, prices increased 12x. That's not normal. Momentum peaked early that year and then traded mostly sideways, holding the bubble floor until the final peak later that year. As I said, everyone understood that Amazon was going to change the world, and Jeff Bezos was the visionary behind this revolution. In December of 1999, Time magazine named him Person of the Year. That peak in popularity coincided with the peak in prices shortly before. And then over the next several months, Amazon lost 95% of its value, falling all the way back to the bubble start. If we zoom back over to Tesla, I think you'll see we have a very similar setup. From the 2020 COVID low to the early 2021 peak, prices rallied 12x. Everyone was locked indoors. Many were getting paid more to stay at home than to actually work. Trading apps like Robinhood exploded in popularity, and novice investors were getting rich listening to FinTwit and Reddit. Just as they did with Amazon back in 1999, everyone believed Tesla was the future. In December of 2021, Elon Musk was named Time magazine Person of the Year. And just like Amazon, the final peak arrived just before his peak in popularity. That brings us to the current deviation. The bear market in Amazon was fairly straightforward, a relentless grind of lower lows. Tesla is taking a different path, and that implies one of two outcomes. Either the price analog is broken and Tesla bottomed, or the final decline has been delayed by an unusually robust bear market rally. If Tesla is destined for lower lows, as I believe, then we should see a downside breakout from this rising wedge pattern in the not-too-distant future. If prices were to maintain the current momentum and close above the 320 level, then I would consider the price analog invalidated. Perhaps you're wondering why, on both occasions, did prices peak just before the peak in popularity? Well, to me, the answer is simple. The majority of investors are sheep, and sheep follow the herd. If all the sheep around them are doing the same thing and making money, then it must be safe. In the cases of Amazon and Tesla, it was obvious to everyone that they were disruptive companies that would change the future. They were right. But in short, everyone was thinking the same way. And too much capital flowed into these stocks, causing a price bubble. Eventually, the speculative fervor wanes, and fundamentals and reality set in. Now, it's important to note that everyone was right in the case of Amazon. It was the future. However, it took a decade for prices to make new highs. And assuming the same fate awaits Tesla, long-term investors may not see new highs until 2031. To wrap up today's video, I wanted to take a quick look at Peloton. I believe it's an excellent example of a post-bubble collapse. During the COVID restrictions of 2020, cash was plentiful and nobody could exercise at the gym. Peloton became a household name and prices rallied 10x in less than a year. After a slow grind in a descending triangle, prices collapsed, falling below the bubble start, and prices are now currently trading near $5. That's a decline of 97% from the final peak. The moral of the story: anytime an asset rallies 10x or more in less than a year, there's a good chance it's a bubble. And when bubbles pop, they do so magnificently, many returning to their initial launch point. In closing, I must admit betting against Elon Musk has generally been unwise, so perhaps Tesla will have a different outcome. But if prices do collapse, think about the wealth that will be destroyed. Some investors could literally lose everything. At Gold Predict, we are a precious metals focused newsletter service, but we also cover various asset markets in search of opportunity. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.